In an effort to transform India into a preferred global manufacturing hub for foreign original equipment manufacturers and tier vendors, several regulatory measures have been implemented in response to the government's initiative to Make in India, particularly within the defense sector. These measures signify a shift away from a reliance on imports and aim to establish India as a competitive force in the aerospace and defense manufacturing industry. Over the past 2 years, the Indian government has implemented a number of significant reforms to stimulate growth in the aerospace and defense manufacturing sector. These include the introduction of the updated Defense Acquisition Procedure 2020 (DAP 2020), which includes substantial changes to the defense policy framework and introduces new categories such as Buy Globally, Manufacture in India. The DAP 2020 also raises the levels of indigenous content (IC) to at least 50% across various categories. Approximately 68% of the estimated capital expenditure in the defense budget for 2022-23 has been allocated for domestic defense acquisitions. 3 positive indigenization lists featuring 310 items designated for Indian industry, as well as 3 defense public sector undertaking (DPSU) lists to minimize imports by DPSU, have been created. These lists outline defense equipment that will be produced domestically in the near future and can only be purchased from the Indian industry after the specified dates. The Innovations for Defense Excellence (IDEX) program has been established for micro, small, and medium enterprises (MSME) and startups. The Government Purchasing Preference to Make in India Order 2017 has been implemented, along with the establishment of Srijan, an indigenization portal designed to support the indigenization of the Indian defense sector, particularly for MSME. Reforms to the offset policy aim to encourage investment and technology through larger multipliers and FDI relaxations. 2 defense industrial corridors have been established in the states of Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, which offer investors a range of fiscal and other benefits. In addition, several state governments have implemented exclusive policies for aerospace parks. While the policy reforms appear flawless on paper, their effectiveness will primarily depend on their execution in practice and the industry's reaction to the same. The Indian defense sector is one of the world's largest and most profitable industries, with a 10-year pipeline of over $223 billion in aerospace and defense capital expenditure and a projected medium-term investment of $130 billion. Attention is currently focused on developing advanced, cost-effective products and technologies that meet both domestic and international needs. In the past 4 to 5 years, Indian defense imports have decreased by approximately 21%, while exports have increased 7-fold over the past 8 years. Last year, Indian defense exports totaled 13,000 crore Indian rupees, $1.62 billion. In 2018, 70% of Indian military equipment was considered obsolete. The 4 existing squadrons of MiG-21 with a single engine are also expected to be retired by 2025. Given current global geopolitical unrest, there is a pressing need to bolster the strength of India's defense forces. In response, the Indian Ministry of Defence has contracted for the in-country production of 123 light combat aircraft (LCA) that will be used by the Indian Armed Forces. This decision was made in response to domestic demand and a renewed emphasis on self-reliance. The Draft Defence Production and Export Promotion Policy (DPEPP) was published in 2020, with the ambitious goal of increasing defence turnover from approximately 80,000 crore Indian rupees ($10 billion) in 2019-20 to approximately 1,75,000 crore rupees ($21.87 billion) by 2025, including the export of 35,000 crore Indian rupees ($4.37 billion). The success of this objective is expected to hinge on the implementation of a well-defined mechanism. However, the sector is currently awaiting the final text of the policy and its actual implementation. Over the past 5 years, indigenous production has expanded to include complex equipment, systems, and platforms, with the INS Vikrant and the Prachand LCH being the most recent additions. The Defense Acquisition Council (DAC) has approved the cancellation closure of Acceptance of Necessity (AON) for 9 by global category bids totaling 46,695 crore Indian rupees, approximately 5.8 billion United States dollars, in order to prioritize domestic production. Among the large defense programs expected to be shifted to by global manufacture in India are 114 multirole fighter aircraft (MRFA) with a gradual increase in domestic production. India's response to the Royal Malaysian Air Force's RMAF request for proposal (RFP) for the procurement of 18 light combat aircraft illustrates the increasing confidence in India's defense production capabilities worldwide. Argentina, Australia, Egypt, the United States, Indonesia, and the Philippines have also expressed interest in the indigenously developed LCA aircraft. There is a growing focus on public-private partnerships to develop the necessary manufacturing capabilities in India, with the creation of the 5th-generation advanced medium combat aircraft serving as a notable example of this type of collaboration. Smaller global firms and SMEs are expected to establish manufacturing capabilities in India. Some Indian conglomerates are also entering the defense industry. India's aerospace and defense manufacturing sector is expected to expand significantly in the future. India's aerospace and defense manufacturing sector is expected to undergo significant expansion in the coming years. In an effort to secure the necessary funding and technology to support this growth, the government has instituted reforms to its foreign direct investment (FDI) policy. The FDI maximum in defense manufacturing under the automatic route has been raised from 49% to 74% for new investments requiring an industrial license, allowing foreign firms to establish manufacturing units with a greater degree of ownership and control. Foreign original equipment manufacturers (OEMs) are also now permitted to exert ownership and control in Indian operations, including in terms of intellectual property protection. 100% FDI is permitted for any activity that does not require a defense industrial license, including engineering, design, technological research, and dual-use and pure aerospace manufacturing. The offset policy has also been revised to offer greater multipliers to attract investment and transfer of technology for defense production. In addition to these reforms, the defense corridor projects in Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu have attracted foreign investment. However, investors have expressed concern about the need for greater transparency in certain aspects of contracts and intellectual property rights. If the government successfully addresses these issues, it is likely that the sector will see a significant influx of investment. The government's Make in India defense deals, which are expected to be a major catalyst for the sector, are currently being negotiated. While the Indian government has taken several steps towards its goal of becoming a self-reliant, Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is, Make in India, much work remains to be done before the country can claim the title of a defense manufacturer. The Draft Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy (DPEPP) has not yet been finalized, and there are practical barriers to the implementation of newly crafted legislative reforms. To fully establish itself as a defense manufacturer, India must also build an ecosystem that includes the production of smaller components and subsystems, the development of necessary technologies in-house, and an increase in in-house research and development skills. This ecosystem can only thrive with adequate public financing. It is expected that the Indian government will address the practical challenges faced by the aerospace and defense manufacturing industry in order to facilitate growth. In today's climate, which places a strong emphasis on indigenous content, IC collaboration will be crucial for success in India's aerospace and defense manufacturing industry. While the policy infrastructure is in place to facilitate increased foreign engagement, the key to successful execution will be the government's ability to remove practical policy obstacles, the availability of public funding to support ecosystem growth, and the participation of major global players. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe.